Ready to go? Hey, everybody. Welcome.
Another year.
2022.
Yeah.
Ready or not?
Yeah.
Here we
We're
go.
Here. Yeah.
So good to have you. Hope you had a great Christmas and New Year, really solid AEP, and we're trying to get running again, aren't we, Steve?
You know, we do. Our job is cyclical. It has certain cycles during the course of the year.
It's cyclical. We show up every
constantly-
day. That's our cycle. We show up every day.
Yeah, but inside the course of that day,
Yeah.
things happen, and
Yeah.
different parts of the year are more important to us.
Yeah.
And some important to us, not important to them. Some important to them, not important. It's just kind of
Yeah.
a one hand is working with the other one, and so it's that time of year when we need to talk about the very timeliness of possibly doing
Right.
some additional
shuffling,
business,
some shuffling around. Yeah. So what we're going to really try to focus on today is this time of year, if you are thinking about making a change, a hierarchy change in the Medicare Advantage world, it's really kind of limited the time span that we can do that. It's the first quarter of the year is where
it's the easiest.
it's the easiest to
simply
do
the
it.
easiest.
So we want to
Easy.
talk about that, and
Yeah.
and we really want to have our name in the hat, or our hat in the ring, to
Yeah,
think of us.
and I'm going to blow a little bit of a horn for you and Jeff because it's obvious. I know this, but I talk with the brokers on an everyday basis, several of them every day.
Yeah,
And one of the number one reasons I hear more about the content about our website, John, and about the dedication you and Jeff have made back to the broker. We're in business because of the broker.
oh
but
my gosh,
I
yes.
haven't seen another organization out there that is so dedicated to giving back.
Well, good.
So the more we do, the more we can
Yeah.
put out. And that's kind of one hand washes the other, and you've proven it. You've got a track
Well,
record. And we're going to go through some of that.
Yeah, and I appreciate you saying
Yeah,
that, but
yeah.
you know what? We'll give credit to where it's due, and then we'll get off. We won't brag on us
Okay,
too much.
I know that.
But,
I know.
but really, it's our marketing team. We just got some bright, really sharp young people. I'm going to call Jason a young person here, but Jason and his team, Becca and Misty, they do a fantastic job. So yeah,
It's
but
fabulous.
you're right. It's all about you out there. We're not here if you're not working with us. So
And it does,
thank you.
on the inside, one hand does wash the other, because if it wasn't for the content and what these guys do, I mean, it doesn't impress the brokers on the outside that give us a phone call and say, you know what,
Yeah.
it makes a difference. It makes a difference.
All right. Well, let's go.
Yeah, and
Why-
this isn't a composite of everything we hear, but this is kind of a list of some of the reasons why they should get a release.
Why you should want to work with
Yeah,
us when it
yeah.
comes to Med Advantage.
It's not everything, but it's
Yeah.
it's a good list.
Okay, well, let's get rolling. Why should you get it? Why should you come with us? Let's
Go ahead
start
and give
talking
us
about it.
a flip there, Jason, if you would. First of all, the tools and technology that we've got. I think you and I have both fielded some phone calls regarding Medicare Center.
Right.
It's our show pony, it's our platform, that
Right.
integrity,
Partners.
anybody, partners, and everybody that comes with us gets to utilize that tool at absolutely no
Right.
charge, knowing full well that there's a heck of a charge behind the scenes.
Yes.
But this is this is what the partnership, when you and Jeff went to Integrity, this is what you brought to our group here.
Well, we're thankful for it too, because it has really been a difference maker. And I know probably some of you out there are using Medicare Center, but like you said, we get phone calls from agents saying, my gosh, what a difference it made to me this year and how much it helped.
It allows more growth. We have brokers out there that spend 80% of AEP working on PDP renewals, which is what their job is.
I know.
When you can take 80% of their time during AEP and move that down to 60%,
Mhm.
what does that do? It allows them more time to cross-sell, to see more
Yeah.
people, to be more profitable. And that's what the exchange is in this entire
Yeah, that's a big one.
system. Huge.
Yeah.
Support and service falls underneath that as well. I mean, I don't think that there's many people out there that say they can ring our phone and somebody doesn't pick up live,
Right.
where we can sit there and give some sort of support or service or get back to them in a timely fashion.
And we want to, and if we're not, or you feel like we've dropped the ball, which we do.
It does. It
We
happens.
do,
It
but
happens.
just
It's not on purpose.
it's our goal and to be here every day and to give great support to everybody. How about training and marketing?
You know, I'm learning. We're all learning. We're
Right.
all learning when it comes to Medicare Advantage. It's a moving target.
Mhm.
Sometimes the rules change on us. We had, I mean, 1 week before AEP, just this past year on October 8th, CMS came down with some guideline
Oh, I remember
changes.
that, yeah.
Yeah, and so it has to be very fluid. And so it's crash courses and what's going on. I think I shared with you a little bit about there being more complaints this past year than the previous year.
Not our complaints.
Not our complaints,
But CMS
CMS complaints,
Right.
complaints into CMS.
Right.
And so I think, I mean, we're just going to have to be on top of the compliance bandwagon.
Yeah.
Understand that compliance is our friend. It's not our enemy. It's not a set of rules that we can't live by. It's meant to take care of the people that don't comply.
Yeah.
And so our brokers are very compliant. I haven't heard one complaint.
Good.
Now, I mean, it's been that good. So
And I think we're on into the presentation here a little bit, the training and marketing. We really have some nice stuff that's there that everybody's,
yeah,
free to use.
this is just a small snippet of some of the topics that we've covered just in the past 6 months or so.
Yeah.
That we want to convey and say, listen, we do this every week. There's content changes on every week.
Okay.
This is just a small snippet. And,
Okay.
and it falls in line with coverage of agent-sensitive topics. One of the things that I like about you and Jeff is that you guys were knocking on doors at the very beginning.
Yeah.
You were agents. You guys had your boots on the street.
You always brag on us, Steve, and it makes me feel uncomfortable.
We'll stop. But we're an agent-centric.
Yeah, we get that part.
Centric organization.
Our heart goes out,
Right.
when somebody loses a sale or there's a problem or they're in a jam. I mean, my shoes are right in their shoes, no doubt.
Not that we can come up 100% all the time, but we dive in right
We
there with
try.
it. We enjoy it. We
Yeah.
enjoy it. Our phone rings and you don't know if it's going to occupy 1 hour, 1 minute, or 8 hours.
All right, you're
So,
at.
anyway.
All right. So another why would be personality conflicts, huh?
Sometimes I hear brokers out there that say that they're not getting what they want from their current FMO, or
Yeah.
sometimes it's just oil and vinegar,
Yeah.
and sometimes it just doesn't work. They're
Right.
looking for a fresh face, and we
Or
can
it might
that.
be outside of personality conflicts, just maybe a new carrier or a carrier that they don't have.
Yeah.
And they'd like to put their toe in the water somewhere else and see how that works. Great.
We've gained a lot of brokers from that Lasso product, product, which you've heard us talk about ad nauseum. But we've found a lot of brokers and they've brought a lot of their other business, basically simply
Yeah.
because of the
That's been
service that we've
a
got.
good thing.
So very good thing. Medicare Center.
Okay, we touched on it a little bit.
We touched on it a little bit, and I will simply say that even in-house, and I like to listen. I like to pick the brains of the people that operate with the Medicare Center.
Right.
Luke and Ashley and Broderick, and I think it's very important to watch that flow of how easy that is.
Right.
And maybe we can take a film of it sometime, but my point is that when that clicks, when that synchronicity clicks between a broker and their assistant or assistants, it really is a sweet thing to watch, because it's a transition that's easily made between the client and the assistants. I watched Luke operate on an every 15-minute schedule and keep it all day long. I've watched him operate on a 30-minute, and knowing full well how much time he has to spend. And it's that Medicare Center.
It really is. We're touting it loud, but it's really been a game changer for us. And I think this last year, I know, was so much better than the year before. They made some enhancements on it, some improvements. And so that system, I don't know how you would do it without it.
You couldn't.
Not in a big way, not in a scaled way.
3-4 years ago, John, we were mailing out scope of appointments
Yeah.
to do a telephone
I know.
enrollment.
gosh.
And that we had to wait till it come back to
Yeah.
make it. Now we can send texts that happen and within 2 minutes we can be done.
Right.
We can do them electronically through an email. It can
Yeah.
be done within 5 minutes.
And we've got lots of resources, right, Steve, that if people are on here listening today and say, "Guy, I really don't know much about Medicare Center. I'd like to learn more." Well, we have
videos. We have videos.
all
that we can
kinds of
send out.
training.
videos.
Right.
We've got several.
So if that's something that you're interested in, guys, just give us a
back.
shout.
It's exactly right. And
You can go in there and find it yourself on our site, but if you want to talk to Steve,
Yep.
anybody here can help.
Oh, yeah, and we can fire a link that will have multiple videos on it that they can simply watch and
Okay.
just see if it's up for you. See if it's up for you.
All right, we ready?
Yeah. This is, I think, basically talking about me. The face that you're looking at may not be a pretty face, but I'm your support. I'm your dedicated rep for all MA inquiries. Now, again, things change. If I don't have an answer at the top of my head, I think most people will agree that we'll get back to them in a very timely fashion.
Right.
And as my library of knowledge about the different MA intricacies gets
Right.
better, I mean, we're getting better.
That's
So,
right. We are.
That's just
We are.
that's just how we look at it. I'm big on compliance, and again, I can't. Brokers, when we would talk to them early on, the compliance was kind of like the enemy, and I'm not of that mindset. I'm saying, well, let's flip that a little bit. Compliance can be our friend,
Yeah,
and when we view it,
but it's not going away.
It's
And
not
you-
going away.
Yeah.
And so when we look at it in the eyes of the lens for which it's a friendly entity that we can abide by and be.
You know, those of you out there that know Steve, I'll brag on him.
Oh,
This is like
no.
this is a love session in here today. But what a great guy, cares, works hard for you, and he's there every day, man.
It's very intriguing.
Two old guys here
Two
every
old
day.
guys.
What
I
are
know,
we doing?
John.
What
I
are we
know.
doing?
I know. Let's okay.
All
I'm
right.
like you. Let's
Enough of
move
that.
on.
All right.
Just some of the, if you would, Jason, get us to the next screen. Thank you, buddy. This is just some of the content that we've got out there on the website for training and marketing.
Yeah.
We have some, generic you have generic letters for Medicare Advantage.
All already
that
complied.
already compliant.
They're ready to go.
You can see that we've got some videos. We see John and Jeff up there in one video, and then we're actually doing a series of training videos
Yeah.
over utilizing the Medicare Center. This is a little bit dated. Obviously, this is about a year old, and Medicare Center has evolved a little bit. So
Yeah.
not that that's bad stuff, it's all good. But
That right there, that training and marketing, when I still talk a lot to new agents or agents that call in and inquire, I handle a lot of those. And
Sure.
I try to, if I can get on the site with them, I take them to that blog and resources button, which is at the top of our homepage. It's the far right, it's at the top. You click on that and that box drops down, and you're going to see this training and marketing materials that not just on MA, but everything that we do, annuity training, life training, med sup stuff, everything. What a great resource for people to go there and at their own time, their own leisure, can really get schooled up on it. It's good
Yeah.
stuff. And the materials that are made that Jason designs and does for everyone are really an asset. We got some of those things that guys just wear them out.
exactly,
They love it.
beautiful stuff. We've got strategies out there. For example, we have brokers out there
And
that
no charge, right?
it's all built in.
Jason, no charge.
It's all
No charge.
We have many different strategies out there, from people that want leads to people that want to do seminars.
Right.
We bring in, we had a Humana regional, multi-state regional person from Humana. As our book of business grows with Humana, these are things that we want to do. Bring these people in that were
Yeah.
physically part of what we're doing in front of us, a webinar, and it just gives pertinent information in a
Yeah.
timely fashion. So
So if you haven't checked that out, guys, go there. I think you'll really enjoy that. And that's another thing that we can help you with if you
take you longer than
team up
30
with
minutes.
us.
Yes,
Yeah.
take you longer than 30 minutes to get through it.
All right, let's keep rolling.
This is what I was talking about. These are some of the subject matters over the last few months, John.
Uh-huh.
For example, like the top in the upper left-hand corner, the top 5 OEP compliance tips. We put that out, I think, sometime in December, mid-December.
Yeah,
OEP is right now, January
Right.
1 through the end of March.
big time.
And again, the tips on the compliance side of the equation, 5 tips right there that any broker.
Keep you on the straight and narrow.
Exactly.
Right.
It's just things to brush up on. Timely stuff.
Yeah. Now, like on that, I can speak to this. Where you go to find that is, again, go to that blog and resources button, which is the far right button. And when you open that up and it drops down, the top thing there says blog. And if you go there, that's where they're going to find us, right? Right there. And you can go down, you see on the right, this is making me feel good because I feel like I'm chipping in on technology.
You
here.
are.
Yeah. But if you do that, guys, you go to that blog button, have it drop down, And if you look at the right, it says categories. And underneath that categories, there's a little button that says see all. And if you open that up, you'll see this huge, long running list of different subject matter where everything is lumped together. And so I'll take a new guy that's just joining us, and I'd like to take him there, show them all the stuff that's there, that if it's let's say it's annuity, it's something that they want to learn about, but they don't know. They can go in that one area, find just all kinds of resources to help them get comfortable with that. So it's good stuff. And it's Jason and his team that get it out there.
Yep. And it starts from the top, and we won't go there anymore.
No, we've been at the top enough.
But let's go down some of this other stuff here. Like the 2022 Medicare changes, what insurance agents need to know. We did that in December, obviously, after we took a good look at what was going to be coming out in 2022.
Right.
And it's a great resource where people can go in and just find out what's changed a little bit about whether it's the compliance side or whether it's what we're seeing out there on the marketplace with different product changes.
Yeah.
The one underneath that is how to use Medicare Center to sell MA and PD plans during AEP.
Yeah.
And again, it's just additional resources that people can get a tip. Oftentimes I tell people, listen, if you're reading a book, just get one good idea from the book. You don't have to get 10 different good ideas, just get one good idea. Marketing materials for the 2022 Lasso Healthcare MSA. I get all the time people saying, well, how do you do this? Well, right there we go. There's some great marketing tips. 10 client leave behinds you'll want for AEP.
So these leave behinds, these are ones that we produce, right? Is that right?
Yes.
And that we customize.
Both.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
And some of these leave behinds are compliant ways to sit there and say, you know what, we do other stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
To sit there and plant the seed.
Make a little bridge.
That's exactly correct.
Beautiful.
You know, staying compliant with what we can say, and then planting that seed for future sales.
Good stuff.
And then, of course, getting ready for either 2021 or 22 AEP Medicare Advantage sales. Always we're picking the brains. I'm asking people above me, you know, as I'm talking into the insurance organizations or some of our different partners, you know, what do you guys do? How do you go about it? Let me send you this link, and I'll, you know, and then we open this stuff up and we just glean ideas, and I quickly forward it to Rebecca and the team, and, and it gets
get away.
Exactly.
Right.
So it's just some of the ideas.
All right. What's next?
I don't know. This is one that we had. Yeah, this is one that whether if people don't mesh well with their organization that they're currently with or whatever,
give us a try.
Different philosophies. I mean, it could just be a philosophical difference, or if you just prefer working with other organizations. Again, like you say, our hat's in our hand, and we're asking folks. To put all this stuff forward requires dollars coming in, and that's where the exchange is. And that's every year. This is the easiest time of the year to do this. Is right now. From now through the end of March, we can get it done fairly cleanly, with or without a release. We much prefer a release, but we can do it either way.
After that, depending on the carrier, it gets a little sticky, doesn't it?
Yeah, the releases, it requires almost a release to make something happen for this year. Honestly, you know, all insurance companies have a blackout period from October 1 through the end of the year. And basically, they don't allow any hierarchical changes. So it doesn't matter what happens after October 1st, that things shut down by the company. Well, there's also a 6-month window that if an FMO out there says they want to be kind of like a stick in the mud, they can be a stick in the mud, which is why, if you do the math, why it's important that we get this done during January, February, or March. If somebody wants to be a stick in the mud, and there's less and less of that, quite honestly. Most of the time, somebody asks us for the few times that we're asked for a release, or it's a reciprocal release. And so it's getting itself cleaned up a lot. But so just to let everybody know that it's an easy process. I actually have got, I think I was looking at, you can see that for a Humana, that's what the form looks like. That's what the form looks like for Aetna. I didn't want to put them up here just in case they're dated. We leave this up, but my point is it's not complicated. That's what I was trying to share with everybody. So,
man, we're racing right through. Are we about done?
I don't know. No.
No.
There we go. We just covered it. We just how to get it released. Basically, we're covering it. You're going to find also that I put Jenny Dunker in our office. Jenny is a valuable player in the contracting side of the equation too. Can't hardly say enough good things about her in her department, but typically somebody calls me up and says, yes, I'd like to move this. It's going to be transferred right over to Jenny. And then Jenny's going to have those 2 forms in place kind of find out where we're at, what the set of rules are that we have to follow, and
Okay.
simply get the whole thing started.
All right.
So call me, call Jenny, email me, email Jenny. We're going to have both emails and both phone numbers up here in just a second. Do we have any questions there?
Yeah,
Jason?
Rebecca just mentioned that, we're going to include a link to the Medicare Center training info in the follow-up email that you'll get after this webinar.
Okay, good.
Lynn asks, is Medicare app and Medicare Link comparable to Connecture and Sunfire? And yes, that's exactly correct. Medicare app is powered by Connecture. Medicare Link is powered by Sunfire. And it's really just whatever you're comfortable with, whichever one you like best is the one to use.
And they're both on the same platform.
Yep, you just choose the button right inside Medicare Center and pick which one you like.
In fact, if we want to back up and show that screen, we had the screen of that. If you want to show them on Medicare app, it's for the second or third screen. Let's back up all the way and just show, whoop, right there.
Yeah, so this
That's
is
exactly
Connecture.
what your first screen is going to look like when you pull up Medicare Center right there. I'm sorry, Jason, go ahead.
Yeah, this button basically leads to the Connecture product, and this one leads to Sunfire. And then the third option is CSG. So there's lots of tools in there available.
Any other questions?
Emily says or asks, does each carrier need their own release, or can you do a blanket release?
Every company is intrinsically just a little bit different, Emily, and it requires each one to follow their own set of guidelines. They're very similar, but we do need separate releases.
That it? I think you really covered this, didn't you?
Yeah, we can. I mean, we did. I think we've done everything right here. And it was my fault. I just kind of rambled into this, but it is time sensitive. It's not that we can't do anything past March 31st, but it will require a release from their upline. Whereas right now we can operate with or without.
Okay.
The physical release from current upline, obviously, you see what we need to get done.
Yeah.
What to do when your upline says no. Okay, there's a trail that we need to follow there. Grace periods is simply, some companies are 6 months, some companies are 90 days. And so it's not absolute with every company the same set of rules. The hierarchy freezes after October 1st, which is why we have to be a little bit sensitive on the time side of the equations. And there are differences between the carriers. So
William asks, can we print the forms online?
yes. In fact, if you go to, for example, in any one, if you have an Aetna contract, you go to Producer World, you can produce, that's exactly where I got that form right there, William. That's exactly where I got it. You can go to Jarvis with Humana, and that's exactly, these are the places that we've got.
Or if you need help with the form, just call us and we'll get you
exactly,
the form, buddy.
exactly. I'm not so certain. Are these forms available on our website, Jason? Do you know?
No.
They're not.
We'll help you get them though. if you
We
need
will.
help.
We will.
What else, guys? Anything? There's Jenny's email and there's Steve's contact info. So, hey, I hope that was helpful. Thanks,
Yeah,
Ben.
that is my pleasure.
Thanks, everybody.
John. Good to get it kicked off.
Appreciate you sitting in, and anything we can do to help, just don't ever hesitate to call. We're here.
Any kind of ideas for topics that you want to hear about, we're always open for that as well. So
All
we
right.
appreciate it.
Yep. Take care.
Thank you.